term for it, but
Check out how the talking heads know less than I do. I'm about to give you
and
more
their
insight than this
enthusiasm
guy that's
level will
supposedly an
decrease
expert.
because
We're
of
going to talk about
this
this. Trump
pretty
is supposedly
shocking
up 5 now
report
in
about their
Arizona, which is a
nominee. This
10
is not
point
some
swing
minor
from a
little
month
thing. This
ago,
has
and
got
he
about
doesn't
20 different
understand
pieces
it.
to it.
Here we go.
Yeah, it is. It is hot to the touch, as you say. It is really something. This reporting from our K file. Another key battleground that we're watching, of course, is Arizona, and Trump is up 5 points there, outside the margin of error. Down ballot, you have Democrat Ruben Gallego. He's up 6 points over Kerry Lake in the Senate race. Abortion's on the ballot, and nearly 60% of Arizonans say they'll vote in favor. So there's a lot of vectors pointing in different directions here. What is your read on the state?
No one is going to be surprised if Donald Trump in the end carries Arizona. After all, Joe Biden, who had quite a head of steam under him at the end of the campaign in 2020, just barely carried it. He had a lot going for him then. I don't know if Kamala Harris will have quite that much going for her at the end, though we'll see. Now, having said that, I find the New York Times Siena poll difficult to swallow. Just a month ago, you had Kamala Harris in their polling up 5 points. Now, a month later, with the only significant event in between being the debate that almost everyone, including many members of the Trump staff, admitted that Harris won easily over Trump, suddenly Trump is up 5 points. That's a change of 10 points in a month with no clear cause. I just find that strange. I look for strange
And he
things.
doesn't say
There are
how
a lot of shows named
North
strange.
Carolina and
Yeah, well,
Georgia.
what about
Here we go. Let's just.
the I'm trying to get the word right of how the FBI is looking at this. The suspected attempted assassination of Trump again at his golf course. I mean, how do you see that maybe playing? Because that is something that happened and could have factored into this polling.
Yes, and everyone should condemn that, and I think just about everybody does, because everybody knows we have a
Do you
certain
think it
number of black.
sways voters, and that's something that could have swayed voters, or maybe explain what is a shift here?
Well, maybe, but what happened after the first assassination attempt? There was no bump at all generated by that.
Bullshit.
This
Yes.
one might have been different. There's no reason why it should have been, but again, that's hard for me to believe. I think we need
BS.
to look at polling averages, and the poll.
So, okay, first of all, he just said that Trump did not get a bump from the first assassination attempt. Yeah, he did. That was so dramatic. It was on TV, screaming, fight, 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 blood on his face and everything. He went to minus 300 on betting odds. Polymarket had him at 70% to win at that point. That is what absolutely triggered the catalyst of Biden having to withdraw the debate and then the assassination attempt. He definitely got a polling bump after that first assassination attempt. The second one wasn't on TV, wasn't dramatic, so maybe he wasn't going to get a polling bump. And he fails to even say, to back his point, well, you don't see a massive swing for Trump in North Carolina and Georgia. But so why is Arizona such a crazy swing from a month ago? Only Arizona swung crazy all of a sudden in this New York Times poll. He fails to understand. So here is the Cole Bartiromo insight of the day for you all. Why I should be on CNN as a talking head more than this guy, more than a lot of these people. Okay, Gabby Gifford. She got assassination attempt in 2012, right? They tried to kill her. She got shot in the head. She turned into very disabled. She could barely speak even to this day. She's from Arizona. She was a House of Representatives. She was a member of Congress. She's from Arizona. So the people in Arizona might be way more reactive and sympathetic to assassination attempts than the people in North Carolina and Georgia. Everyone's already decided Trump or whatever for those states. But in Arizona, maybe a lot of independents and stuff see how Trump's continuing to be targeted, continuing to have assassination attempts against him, and they're like, all right, you know what? Enough's enough. They want him dead so bad, I'm going to vote for him now. Because that's what he failed to bring up. That Gabby Gifford from Arizona, okay, a congresswoman from Arizona, was shot in the head and they tried to kill her in 2012. She's a very, it's a very big, sad story of Arizona. So maybe that is why the polls have swung big time in Trump's favor in Arizona and not in these ones. But he failed to his point, say how there was no big swing there. But then my counter, if he had even said that, it would be, well, it's because in Arizona, there's a congresswoman named Gabby Gifford, who was shot on the head. They tried to kill her, so maybe they're more sympathetic in Arizona to assassination attempts. And, of course, the whole illegal immigration absolutely wiping out and decimating girls around the country, like Rachel Marin, Jocelyn Nunnery, Laken Riley, Elizabeth Medina, and on and on and on. Please stop voting Democrat. Please do not risk being the next victim of Kamal's illegals. Jocelyn Nunnery, 12-year-old girl, tortured and raped for hours before being murdered in Texas, and on and on. They're all such horrible, tragic stories. The amount of girls that will die because of Kamal's illegals that have already died and will die because of open borders, because you vote Democrat, is so many more than the very rare story of someone dying because of abortion complications or not being able to do an abortion in that particular state and not planning ahead and just traveling out of that state to go to a state where there is abortion legal, etc. And FYI, RBG, Ruth Ginsburg, the Democrats' beloved character figure, sleeping on the job, even into her 90s as a Supreme Court justice, she even had reservations about Roe v. Wade. She even expressed that it should be state legislation, not a federal thing, just like they do in Europe. The legislation passes what should and should not be allowed for each state. RBG expressed concerns about Roe v. Wade. So Trump is absolutely right. He should have said that, though, but he's absolutely right. It's now up for the states to decide, and that's that. But yeah, in Arizona, there's your reasons why maybe Trump's up big time, and he just fails to see that. Hey, because there's just more and more publicity on more and more of Kamal's illegals wiping out girls. So Arizona is very, very sensitive to illegal immigration, and Trump should have said at the debate, no, don't try to talk about this bipartisan bill that you're saying that I got killed. No, you know what? You created the problem, Kamal, because you and Biden removed my border executive order on day one of your presidency 4 years ago. You removed it. You let in millions of people in the last 4 years, and Jocelyn Nunnery and Rachel Marin and Laken Riley and Elizabeth Medina and thousands of others, attackers and killers, all came in 2022, 2023. Period. End of story. You created the problem, Kamal.